Welcome, Battle Brothers. Today is the start of Orc Week. All the humies need to step out, cause War Epic is here and War Boss Narrator is holding court. Now, on with today's episode. I'd like to introduce you here to Joblot Grob. He was found in a bunch of fantasy eBay stuff. I bought all of this eBay stuff to use for NPCs in my D&D campaign. So you can check out some of those models on the channel soon, actually. Now this bloke here, you can see poor old Joblot Grob here has been through the wars. So the eagle-eyed of you will notice that he's lost his horns. Now I have filed off the snapped off bits a little bit, but it's not the best job in the world, and to be honest, do we need the best job in the world for this bloke? Probably not. He's also sporting a nice 3rd edition base. If you have a look, camera's not very good, I'm afraid, but you know, we have to make do with what we've got in this lockdown era. Yeah, so this is a 3rd party base, no flock or any basing material, so what I've actually done is that is blue tack, or cheap blue tack, just covered over with some PVA glue, and to be honest, I don't think it looks too bad. You know, it's better than nothing anyway. Paints we're going to be using today is mainly going to be coat d'arms paints with some old citadel paints, maybe the odd new citadel paint, and a lot of this army painter ink. Here we go. So the undercoat is a matte black, and then we've gone over that with a Corax white as well. I haven't bothered taking the mold lines off or anything like that, because to be honest, back in those days, it wasn't something I would have done when I was about 10 or 12. First step is we're going to base coat all of the skin in goblin green. Once that's done, we're going to move on to the red. Now with the red, I'm a little bit slapdash with it. Reason being is if I do go over the lines, the black is going to cover it up. So we're going to go with the blood red for any armor trim, and also the trousers. Once that's done, I'm going to move on to a dark grey, which is just a mixture of white and chaos black. Now I'm going to put this on the armor with the idea later I'm going to put a black wash over it, hoping that some of those highlights are going to come through. Doesn't quite work out that way, but you'll see that later. Finally, once we've done the red, the black and the green, we want to hit up the leather pouches and leather belt with a leather brown, and also the wood stock on the axe as well. So this is the base coat finished. Now I've also covered the weapons in chaos black as well to get ready for the dry brushing later. Now the next stage, I'm going to put some washes on. So we're going to be using army painter inks for all of this. So anything that's black, we're going to be hitting with dark tone. Now, I did find a little bit of a problem here. What I wanted is for the grey to sort of shine through and show some highlights. And that did work, but it left the model looking grey and not black. So I hit the black areas a couple of times with the dark tone, but then I ended up mixing in some super black wash in with it. And that super black wash is very, very dark from coat d'arms. I hit up anything red with a red tone, skin with a green tone, and that was it for the washes. During this step as well, I dry brushed the weapons silver. So if we look at the picture now, what we have is essentially a respectable model that you could use on the tabletop, just with a few washes and a base coat. The next stage now, we want to wait for those washes to dry. So I left them for about half hour, ideally, really want an hour or a couple of hours even. But like I said, I'm not too fussed about this model, just want to get it done quickly for the video, really. The wash is dry now, so we can move on to doing the highlights. So I'm going to go over the reds again, just to bring them out a bit more, make them a bit more vibrant, because the wash does sort of dull them down a bit. So just going to go over again with blood red. Now for the highlights for the red, what we're going to work on is we're going to be using British Scarlet and Flame Orange. We're going to mix those, getting progressively lighter as we go. For the orc skin, it's going to be a mixture of Goblin Green, Sun Yellow and Skull White. Again, just picking out those edges and getting brighter and brighter as we go. For the black, just going to leave it as it is really. So I might give it a quick dry brush, just with some grey, and then I'm going to go over it yet again with a black wash, just so it slowly starts building up those highlights and colours naturally. For the skull on his belt and the one on his shoulder, we're going to start with a base coat on that of leather brown, and then we're going to work up slowly, mixing it, and we're going to bring it up to what is called flesh colour from coat to arms. Also going to just pick out the eye sockets and things like that with a little bit of black wash. For the skull on his belt and the one on his shoulder, we're going to start with a base coat on that of leather brown, and then we're going to work up slowly, mixing it, and we're going to bring it up to what is called flesh colour from coat to arms. Also going to just pick out the eye sockets and things like that with a little bit of black wash. So some very fine detail here. We're going to come out, we're going to just pick out those teeth, and we're going to also pick out the eyes as well. The teeth, we're going to start with leather brown again, then flesh, and then we're just going to top the very tips of those tusks with a skull white. The eyes, and we're going to just dot a little bit of the white in there, followed by the red, and then I'll probably put a little bit of black wash around just to make them pop a little bit more. The very last bits of detail are going to be gold, so we're going to pick out that skull on his helmet and any rivets on the bolt gun, that kind of thing. Just pick it out with a little bit of gold, and then we're going to give a little black wash just to make it stand out a little bit more. And we're also going to go around with that black wash, and anywhere where two colours meet, or maybe anywhere that looks like it's going to be in very dark shadow, I'm just going to use that black wash again on that line to make it pop out a little bit more. Now this is quite an old-fashioned technique. If you look at the old Rogue Trader Space Marines, a lot of them have these very thick black lines around the joins in their armour. This is to help it stand out. And what can I say? I mean, I am a little bit old-fashioned. Oh, and something else, I put a super wash on the boots. The reason I put that super coat to arms wash on the boots is it's a little bit shiny. So for me, it makes it look like the boots perhaps leather. Some very final details, a little bit of Uhu glue and red wash to put on the axe to look like blood. The base, we're just going to have to live with that. You know, it is a lockdown. I can't exactly run out and buy a load of basing paint, can I, from the shop. So it's just going to get goblin green, a little bit of a wash, and some grass tufts added to it. And there we go, Battle Brothers. This 2nd edition Orc is finished. Now, he's not heavy metal standards by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he's passable, and I hope that maybe some of you guys have learned a little bit from this painting guide. If not, no problem. I just hope you've enjoyed seeing me make an absolute mess of this Orc then. This is the start of Orc Week. If you want to see some more Orc videos, you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and join the chapter, brother. And until next time, may the Emperor protect you through Nurgle's blight.